I've just always been drawn to northern places and remote places. There's just so much vast space on the map that's kind of a question mark. I like to work with landscape because landscape is this threshold where we as human beings encounter the unknown and ask ourselves questions about what's out there, what is all this, what are we doing on this little tiny planet. The residency I did in Svalbard in 2016, that's where this project really got off the ground and got rolling. I was on a ship with about 40 other people, so 30 artists plus crew. But the solitude of these places can also be really compelling as well. So sometimes it's nice to have that quiet around you. You do need to find those moments, just going out on a hike by yourself and just being there and moving through the space slowly, and then you can kind of start to feel the energy of that place and listen to what it wants to tell you. What I'm trying to say with these photographs is a duality about, on the one hand, the fragility of these landscapes, their precarious future with climate change, how fast they're changing, the kind of a lamentation or a expression of the grief of all that. And on the other hand, I want to show an appreciation or a sense of just the magic of these places, and the awe and the sublime. So it's really trying to say, like, here's what we have. Here is how splendid it is. And here is the uncertainty that it's in right now. I think a lot in my practice about how the medium of photography itself is changing. You know, now it's so easy for everyone to take pretty good-looking pictures, and there are so many pictures being taken all the time. So I ask myself, you know, what's the point of going to these places when you could just find millions of images of them on Google? How can I take a picture that doesn't already exist? How can I make a picture that engages with photography as an art form when photography is now so easily accessible to everyone? That's why I'm using alternative processes. I feel like they can attempt to answer a lot of those questions and offer an image that doesn't just show what a place looks like, but says something about what the place feels like as well. The first process I was using was soaking color film in different acidic solutions. A lot of people call this film soup. So I did a bunch of tests before I went to Svalbard to see what would work and what didn't, and then just shot a bunch of images on soaked film. After I did the film soup, once again, it sort of sparked my curiosity for other alternative processes. So I discovered mordançage, which is this experimental black and white darkroom process. Was developed by a French guy, Jean-Pierre Sudre, in the 1970s. It came from an earlier process called bleach etching. And you make a silver gelatin print in the darkroom, and then you soak it in this really strong acid that's made up of a few different chemicals. And then anywhere where you have pure black shadow areas, the emulsion will lift off the paper, and then you can manipulate it in different ways to create these really expressive veils and textures and stuff. So as part of the overall dissolving landscape project that I've done, it's not only photographs. I've created 3 short films, and one of them is from Nunavut, one of them is from Svalbard, and the third one is from Newfoundland. With each of those, you could call them experimental documentaries. So in each one, I have a narrator who's from each of those places, who's telling stories, talking about their own personal history and memories and affection for the land, but then also talking about some of the politics of the landscape, some of the changes in recent years, some of the history. As with the photographs, it's meant to kind of capture the sublime and the magic, but also the fragility of these places and sort of complement the narrative that's told by each narrator. I'm proud of the films. I think that's an area of my work that I really kind of made myself uncomfortable and learned how to do stuff that I didn't know how to do before. So I like the films.